Hello, friends. A couple of Ukrainian F-16s are getting ready at sunset to face another busy night neutralizing the Shahed drones that the invaders keep launching against the defenders' cities. You can see they're loaded with medium-range AMRAAM missiles and short-range Sidewinder missiles. Looking back, on November 1st, 2023, the then Russian Defense Minister, Sergei Shoigu, stated that the powerful and invincible air defense systems of the Z Horde could destroy all 85 F-16 fighters promised to Ukraine within 20 days. Well, Pilgrim, it's Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. The Vipers are still flying, but I don't know where Shoigu is, although I'm sure the man developed a sudden phobia of tall buildings and windows. The tanker Arctic Medegas, flying the Russian flag and part of Moscow's shadow fleet, remains adrift and without crew in the central Mediterranean, about 50 nautical miles southwest of Malta, after an attack by Ukrainian naval drones on March 3, 2026. Aerial images taken between March 16th show the 277-meter ship severely damaged, with its superstructure blackened by fire, listing to one side, and with two large holes in its hull above the waterline amidships. The ship, loaded with more than 60,000 metric tons of LNG and approximately 900 metric tons of diesel, was heading from the Arctic port of Murmansk to Port Said in Egypt when a massive fire forced the 30 crew members to abandon the vessel. The Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Transport have attributed the incident to an attack by a swarm of Ukrainian naval and aerial drones that were reportedly launched from the Libyan coast, which seems plausible considering that there are indications of the presence of Ukrainian Special Forces operators in Africa. We'll see if more attacks on Z ships occur in the Mediterranean in the coming weeks. A singular combat like the ancient gladiator duels, one-on-one, technology versus infantry, where this time a Z invader faces off against an attack mosquito, both giving their best to achieve victory. And the winner is? Honestly, I can't see who won with all the smoke. Does anyone know? Well, maybe it was a tie. The operations are going so perfectly, according to the master strategist's plan, that Ukrainian military intelligence has published intercepted communications, indicating that Russian commanders are ordering troops to recover only the heads and identification documents of the dead orcs, instead of evacuating the entire bodies from the battlefield. According to the defenders, the instructions are being issued as a logistical measure, since the commanders know that evacuating entire bodies is extremely difficult or downright impossible under the current battlefield conditions. This is not an isolated incident, but rather a widespread pattern observed in multiple Russian units, suggesting a recurring approach to handling casualties on the battlefield. As the weather conditions improve, Russian forces attempted a raid on the Sloviansk front, using an MTLV armored vehicle loaded with infantry, which was accompanied by several motorcycles and some scattered assault groups. The column departed from shelters in the city of Siversk and attempted to probe Ukrainian positions from the flanks. Apparently, the MTLV was intended to be the main vehicle of this attack, while the motorcycles and supporting infantry groups were used on the opposite flank of the Ukrainian positions to draw attention and confuse the defenders. However, the units of the 81st Airborne Brigade responded quickly, requesting support from a BMP infantry fighting vehicle and small attack drones, which attacked the assault, destroying the MTLV and the motorcycle groups before they could gain momentum in their attack. Once the main incursion was neutralized, the infantry moving in small groups began to be taken out. This incident shows a tactic that the invaders are using more and more frequently on the front, which consists of launching small mobile assaults designed to probe the defensive lines and look for weak points within the Ukrainian line. Thanks to the arrival of spring, which is drying the ground and improving vehicle mobility, it is likely that they will continue carrying out this type of incursion. But the Ukrainian airborne units in this sector already have an effective strategy to respond quickly to avoid being taken by surprise by any attack of this kind. Now we will see another heroic action, where in a high-risk 3-day operation, the reconnaissance troops of the 425th Scalia Independent Assault Regiment managed to rescue a group of soldiers from the 30th Mechanized Brigade who had held an isolated position on the front line for 365 days. Due to the constant changes in that sector of the front line throughout 2025 and 2026, the unit was practically surrounded within enemy-controlled territory on the Kramatorsk axis in the Donetsk region. Despite the constant pressure from the horde, the shortage of ammunition, and the logistical isolation, the defenders managed to hold their position, demonstrating extraordinary resilience and discipline. To reach them, Scalia's reconnaissance elements advanced through no man's land, making contact with the surrounded troops and helping them carry out a successful withdrawal under combat conditions. They all managed to return safely, once again proving that no one is left behind. According to a spokesperson from the 425th Regiment, which has specialized in high-risk actions, it once again proved capable of carrying out operations that require great precision and not a little courage in one of the most demanding environments of war. Well, dear friends, get your popcorn ready and put on your best "I'm not impressed" face, because the birds of the 414th Brigade have just released a new compilation to kick off the spring 2026 worm hunting season. The invaders keep receiving the Ukrainian tourism package, which includes a cozy trench in the picturesque Donetsk region, with free views of the Ukrainian sky, unlimited adrenaline, and free high-speed space launch service. The footage is pure cinematic poetry. We see wave after wave of these orcs running between bunkers and shelters, surprised by the huge concentration of small attack drones just waiting to blow them up every time one of the illegal tourists dares to stick their head out of their nest. The choreography is frankly impressive. One moment they're posing heroically inside what used to be a small, quiet shelter. The next moment they're doing interpretive dance moves to avoid the drones. In conclusion, if you're a Russian who wants to go on a cultural exchange trip to Ukraine in 2026, maybe you should consider other destinations. For your own health. To finish, here we see a Ukrainian soldier who was held in Russian captivity for 3 years and 9 months. He returned today to his home in the village of Starosilia, Bolin region, where the whole town came out into the streets to give him an unforgettable welcome. We see the defender wrapped in a Ukrainian flag, receiving greetings, hugs, and flowers under the spring sky. The footage captures the joy of the whole town at the return of their warrior and the strong community bond that persists in the small villages of Ukraine, despite the prolonged conflict. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.